Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm a coach in a channel, and this is going to be a bit of a departure from my typical content. And it's something that I've never done before, but the itch to do this has been building over the course of 2025. And it took me a while to figure out how I wanted to go about this. And it because I'm stepping a little bit outside of my comfort zone in doing so. So I'm just going to lay the groundwork in terms of what this is going to be and why I've decided to show up in this way and allow you to decide if this is something that you want to stick around for. I'm I grew up in Canada. I was born and raised in Toronto, and um I lived there, grew up there and lived there for 28 years. And I met my husband when I was 21. That's a long story, but he's an American citizen, born and raised in the United States. And when we got engaged, I moved to the United States to be with him, and I have been living here ever since. I've been living here for about a decade now. And witnessing what's going on in this country has been so hard. And 2025 was especially rough. And I understand that in coming forward about some of my opinions, this might turn off some people, and that's totally fine. I'm not going to speak into specifics about what's been going on here because you can find that information anywhere. But I think in making this content, you're going to get an idea of where I stand. And if you don't resonate with that, that's fine. I've sort of come to peace with that. Um, but essentially what I'm trying to say is that this past year specifically, I have felt a level of disempowerment that has been unmistakably uncomfortable. I have felt disempowered as a woman, which, to be fair, is nothing new, but it's just been on a whole other level lately. I have been disempowered as a United States citizen. I have been disempowered as a human being, and I have felt disempowered because I have felt like I don't have a voice, I don't have a choice, and that I'm at the mercy of what happens to me, and there's nothing I can do to change it. And I know intuitively that we have nothing but choices, but it hasn't felt like that's true. It hasn't felt like there's anything that I can do to change my circumstances as a person in this country. And that has felt really, really challenging to stomach because that is so outside of my nature to sit and take something. I have a hard time with that. And so I have kind of been in reflection about this struggle all of 2025, and I came to the conclusion that I really have two choices. I can sit back in horror, witnessing what's going on, feeling powerless to do anything about it, and just hoping that something changes or that we can ride this out until it's over. And that's sort of where I existed all of y'all last year in 2025, and it felt awful. I, I attended rallies, I emailed my representatives, but it just didn't feel like that was enough or like that was enough for me. And I had the awareness of this other choice. I just I didn't have an understanding of how I wanted to go about it until now. And I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but it's been tough living here lately. Um, I have an ability to access perspective. And this perspective has been super helpful for me on an individual level in private to be able to access a greater level of awareness from a higher consciousness that can help me understand what's happening, why it's happening, and how to open up to a different energy inside of me so that I can at least feel differently inside of who I am as I'm navigating this world. And that was helpful. That has been extremely helpful. But I have reached a point where I feel like more is needed. It's not enough to just walk around being able to access a place of peace in meditation. I want to be able to use my voice in a way where I feel like I'm making a difference, like I'm standing up for what I believe in, like I'm fighting for what's right. And I am going to go about it through this experience that you're here with me having right now. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do, if this is going to be an ongoing thing. I get the feeling there's going to be more than one. But essentially, what this is, what you're about to watch, is not a common is not a commentary on what's happening in the United States, so much as how do I want to explain this? So much as an opportunity to understand it from a different perspective. And in gaining that new awareness, having access to a different energy and vibration inside of you and being able to use that to fuel you in whatever way you want it to. That's it. So, what this is going to look like is me tuning into spirit and asking them to focus on a perspective that we are experiencing inside of the United States, specifically the United States, but I think they're going to tie it in to global things because what we're experiencing here is unique in some ways, and in some ways it's not. And so if you're not living in the United States right now, you might still identify and get a lot out of what they're going to offer. But this is an opportunity for me slash you, if you're interested, in redefining what this period of time means for you and allowing that to guide you on a path that feels empowering, where you may have felt powerless. And wherever that takes you, as long as it feels aligned for you, that's all that matters. But I was inspired by other people that I've seen show up in ways that have felt good for them to do this for me. And maybe doing this for me will inspire you to do something that feels good for you. And maybe that's all that's needed right now is a way for each and every single one of us to show up inside of our lives in a way that feels important and and grounded and empowering and aligned in a time where it's difficult to feel those things. And in doing so, shift our energy, show others how to do the same, and that creates a domino effect. And maybe that's how we can help one another. what are you trying to say? Okay. So I'm not really 100% sure what this is going to look like, what's going to come through me, but how this typically works for me in channel is I close my eyes, I tune in to my guides, to my higher self, to higher consciousness, to source consciousness, and allow them to speak and share whatever it is that they're feeling is needed at this time. And sometimes it starts with an image that's used as a metaphor that helps to explain a message that they want to drive home. And sometimes there might be an energy healing component in this because a lot of the times what's needed is a calming of the nervous system. So that might be part of this experience, but the frame will be assisting us in getting through these hard times, the hard times that we've experienced and the hard times that we will have to face moving forward, and hopefully gaining clarity, confidence, and peace of mind despite what it may look like, what the world is reflecting back to you on the outside. Okay, I'm going to tune in. I'm going to see what they want to share with us today. Okay, they're just showing me like a visual of like a map of the United States and superimposed on top of it this beating heart. And there's kind of the way I receive information is a mixture of seeing it, feeling it, and like a download. And the impression I'm getting is that this beating heart, sorry, what are you trying to say? It's searching for something. It's beating, which is representative of the desire to love, the desire to access unity and peace and connection, but feeling like it's not sure how. And that is representative of us as a collective consciousness inside of this country, is that we at the heart of it, at the center of our beating heart, is this desire to feel included, this desire to feel part of something greater, this need for connection from one another, and to feel seen and loved. But there's a great degree of not knowing how, not knowing how to get that, and looking for all of the ways that that can be done. And there are many people in this country that have fallen so far off of the path that is a direct line towards accessing those things. They have just veered completely off trail and are just blindly walking through the woods, and they don't know how to get back. It's like the beating heart at the center of the country is like where they're supposed to be going. That's where everything that they're looking for is going to be found. But somewhere along the way, they got lost and they're off in a different direction in the woods and they're feeling alone, isolated, confused, and afraid. And feeling that way has has alarmed them, and they don't know how to get back, and they feel scared of letting their whereabouts be seen because why? because they don't even know if they want that anymore. They have been off track and off path and off trail for so long that they've forgotten what it is that they were actually walking, moving towards or wanting in the first place. And they're like spinning and they're looking for something to grasp onto. And there's all of these people around them saying, it's this, it's that, it's over here, it's over there. And they're just completely overwhelmed and confused. And they're just kind of spinning in circles. And they're hoping at some point that the confusion is just going to die down and they're going to have the clarity again to move in the right direction. And that is a lot of what we're witnessing right now is a lot of different voices yelling, it's over here, it's over there, it's this way, it's that way, and we're all spinning. And some of us have managed to keep the end goal, the vision as our at our focus, which is the beating heart at the center of everything, where we're all sort of feeling a draw to move towards, but not fully ready to arrive yet. And some of us who are just completely off path, veered off into the woods, and are not ready to start moving again because they're so lost and so alone that it's safer to stay put where they are than to start walking and feel just completely alone and desperate and afraid and in the dark. Okay, what else do you want to say about this? They're just they're showing two things. They're showing this like heavy density that's kind of overlapping all of us. It's this like dark, thick, dense air, and it's like slog, and we feel just engulfed by it. And those who are off alone, lost in the woods, that's it's like swirling around them. For some of us, it's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit less dense, and for some, it's heavier. And they're showing this like divide in that density that shows a straight line going all the way to this beating heart in the center. And all we have to do is find that path that leads straight to the heart. And what we're not, what we're failing to do is look up. It seems like this dense, dark fog is like sitting heavily on the ground. But if we were to look up, the sky is shining. It's bright. It's open. There's no density there. It's like it's like the sunshine after a massive storm. And it's beautiful and it's loving and it's open and it's hopeful. And and we can't even really see that it's there because we're so focused on this dense darkness that we're all kind of walking through. That's kind of eye line with us. And so they they what are you trying to say about that? This like bright, open, sunny, airy atmosphere is what is accessed when you turn inside rather than focus on what's outside. What we're searching for, we're never going to find when we're looking which way to go and we're asking all the people around us, is it this way? Is it that way? And we're hearing all of this cacophony of yells of confusion and distraction. They're saying the bright sunshine that we're searching for is there. It's been there the whole time. And all you have to do is look up. And by up, they mean, what do you mean by up? What do you mean by up? It's just representative of like a space that is clear and free from all of the noise. And that is accessible for you. I'm not sure I understand. There is not one direct path to get there because there's no path. It's like you don't have to go there. It's already here. It's everywhere. You just have to be willing to see things differently. That's what this is. You have to be willing to look in a different direction. And when you focus on a different thing, you'll find that the darkness is not as heavy as you once thought it was, that there's a lot of light and there's a lot of love and a lot of freedom and a lot of hope. And that's the message that they want to put forward today, is that there is going to be a lot of fear and distraction from the love and the hope and the freedom that's here. But that distraction is coming from those who are only able to focus on and see the darkness. And those of us who are so focused on that are going to get lost in the woods. And what they want is to guide you. What they want is to offer you a perspective that's going to allow you to see the light. They're saying they're saying the people in power, the people that we have put in power, are not necessarily the ones who are going to show that light to you. They're not necessarily here to offer you the path that you're wanting towards the beating heart at the center of this country. They're not necessarily the ones that are going to offer the perspective to see the light. They can be, but not all of them know where to look. Some of them are lost in the woods. And so it's up to us to take the reins and take control of where we're looking to focus our own attention. And unfortunately, we have to begin to be able to discern where to look for ourselves in order to place people in power that have that same ability and can do the same. But you can only discern who those people are when you're willing to see the light when you're willing to see the light first. You have to be able to meet them there. When you're there, when you're in the light, when you're feeling the freedom despite the chaos, when you can see the hope despite the fear, you'll spot those who can do the same because they'll be speaking the same language. And those are the people that you can look to help anchor in that perspective rather than the ones that can't see it, that are stuck in the muck and that are running circles in the woods. And at this point in time, they're saying we have chosen who we've placed in power. And they're saying that that is a controversial word to use in this circumstance, but they're using the word chosen for a reason. On some level, we have chosen this because we needed to experience what? The hardship, because it is the hardship that guides us towards what we've been seeking, which is truth. What do you mean by that? Love. Love offers the only truth needed, they're saying, because it is through the power of love that you can feel the intention behind action. And you need to be able to feel the difference in someone's energy in order to know where they're located in space. Are they lost in the woods or are they up in the clouds beside you? And if you're the one lost in the woods, you're not going to be able to see who's there with you and who's not because you can't see anything. You can only feel your fear, confusion, and frustration and and dizziness. And so it's not necessarily about guiding those who are lost back to the path that's needed. It's about meeting those who can see the openness that you can and finding each other. And they're saying that in doing that, you, one, feel the freedom that's here and exists inside of that energy, and also give that energy back to the beating heart of this country, which has been looking to feel that and not sure how. Okay. Anything else you want to say about this? They're saying this is not a message that is going to resonate with you unless you're ready to feel the compassion that's required in order to ignore those who are lost in the woods and focus on your own perspective that's going to offer you the reality you're looking for. It's not up to you to change their minds. It's not up to you to redirect them. It's up to you to meet those who are existing inside of the space that you want to be and that you want to be feeling and congregating there and what? Shifting the flow of energy in doing so. The more of us congregate in this one spot, the more of us rise, the more of us look up and see the open air and the hope and the freedom and the love and the potential and the connection that exists there and move in that direction. It's like the energy begins getting pulled there and growing there. And when the energy there outweighs the energy below in the depth, in the density, in the muck, it will almost like flip, flip everything on its head. And more people will get sucked up into it because they'll start to know where to look. They'll feel like the density sort of like lifting because that's where the flow of energy is happening. And when the density lifts enough, they'll be like, "Wait, what's up there?" And then they'll look up and they'll see so many people there and all of their loved ones there and everyone that they admire there, and then they'll come and they'll join you. Okay, so where do you want to go from here? They're saying that there are some people that are so distracted by their own internal motivations, that the fear and the discomfort that it's causing, they don't they don't care. It's not a bother to them. They disregard it because they're just so laser focused on their own need to fulfill this deep desire for significance. And every time we get sucked into that energy, it is distracting us from looking up. And it can feel like just looking up and living in a bright, wonderful world, despite what's going on around you, is not productive in creating change. And to that, they want to say that's only because you don't have the awareness of how much your energy makes a difference. If you could understand the impact that your energy has, you would never claim to be powerless. And that is the ultimate message from this transmission today, is beginning to understand the effects that you have on the people, places, and things around you by choosing where you want to focus your energy, your attention, and feeling the shift inside of you and watching how you find people that are doing the same, how you gravitate to one another, and how that is what's going to change the tide. And the people that can't meet you there, their power will be slowly siphoned from them in ways that we cannot foresee, but that cannot outweigh the power of the collective choosing something different. They're saying feel the difference that you want to experience and be brave to show up from that energy, and you will make your mark on history, whether it's written about or not. Thank you. Yeah. So that's all I have for you for today. I would love to hear from you if this resonated. Please comment below. You can private message me on social media, Amanda Lauren Blau on Instagram and TikTok. I'm mostly active on YouTube and Instagram, but I'm grateful for being able to share this space with you, connect with you inside of a different frequency, and shift the tide one one conscious choice at a time. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.